Hello everyone, I'm your boy BnB, and welcome to and I have to look it up again because I don't fucking know, whatever if episode of, welcome to the,
question mark? Shit, we broke him.
Fifth episode of the podcast.
Yay!
The fifth episode, that's what this is. I totally didn't forget. I'm also...
Of course not.
I'm also fucked up by allergies. And this is...
We think.
Playing Siege Man.
Oh,
I'm
me.
fucked up.
Hello.
I'm fucked up by allergies, and that's playing Siege Man. And welcome to the BnB Podcast,
where train wrecks are a daily occurrence.
Yes, even when we're not recording podcasts, some of our conversations go from fucking on the rails to millions dead. So.
To on the rails in Siberia to millions dead in California. Don't ask us how. We haven't figured that out yet.
So, in today's episode of the podcast,
video thing, podcast. Yeah, podcast. That's totally it.
We're gonna be talking all about gaming, 100% this time. Not mistakenly saying that gaming is YouTube or whatever the fuck I accidentally did last time. Like, 100% this is actually, like, about fucking gaming. I only have 3 articles, because if I remember correctly, one of them is kind of longer. But... Or, that's right, it wasn't that the article was long, it's that I think we could get some good discussion out of it. So... First one is, Game Informer article. I trust Game Informer. I've been a fan of Game Informer for fucking years. So actually, all these articles are from Game Informer. Come to think of it.
Oh shit.
So I fucking love Game Informer. I was subscribed to their magazines for like 2.5 years at one point. So pretty solid. So this article is about Overwatch. I called it on my spreadsheet, the conflictive anti-cheat, and the article's title is Overwatch's new anti-cheating detection shuts entire matches down by Imran Khan on July 15th, 2019 at 3:10 p.m. Cheating is... Yes. Cheating is kind of a problem in most every online game with competition, but it can be especially grating in Overwatch. Players who are trying to do their placement or competitive matches will sometimes notice people cheating and report it, but the match still goes on the record regardless of what the report says. In the newest developer update, Blizzard's Jeff Kaplan explains that their new automatic anti-cheat system will shut this down by shutting the match down. Now being tested in the playable test realm servers, the new anti-cheat system will end a game once it detects cheats from a player. In theory, this should stop players from wasting time in a game where the result has been tainted by a cheater and having something on their record that wasn't fair. Anyone who is caught cheating will face, according to Kaplan, quote, very harsh punishments. It is not detailed exactly what these punishments are, but presumably they will include banning, either temporarily or permanently. This is an interesting method of dealing with cheaters and their ability to affect games rather than strictly dealing with the source problem of banning cheaters in the first place. It's also fairly different from Apex Legends' solution, also revealed a few days ago, to only make cheaters play against each other.
I kind of like that one.
Yeah, but I'm not sure, again, when I say the conflictive anti-cheat, I mean, this is really conflictive, because on one hand, I see their point. They don't want, actual legit players being, hiked up in tier rank for, ranked play. They don't want to hike them up to, fucking diamond when they didn't earn it because they had cheaters on their team. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, shutting down the entire... If this is just in competitive, then I'm fine with it. But if this branches off into fucking just normal quick play, that'll be ass. Because Imagine every other fucking game that you play gets shut down because the fucking, especially if the algorithm fucks up. If these are like YouTube level algorithms, we're all fucked. I really hope that this thing is like a kind of just competitive thing and not a fucking...
Yeah, that would be good.
Could you imagine?
And I still actually play Overwatch on a semi-regular basis. I would actually be able to let you know.
Yeah. And also another thing is, if they end, is this only going to be employed in matchmaking? Because if this is an actual like true anti-cheat, this shit might even cover public match, or not public match, private matches. And if it does, we're all in for a world of shit, because a lot of Overwatch's greatest game modes, at least I can say on fucking PS4, are modded ones.
Right.
Yeah, so that begs the question, will that shit be able to be played anymore? Or not? Because if the answer is no, then I honestly don't know what the fuck I would be doing with Overwatch still installed on my console at that point. Because don't get me wrong, the core game is fine, but it's just not entertaining enough for me to like keep it installed unless like another hero comes out. Because that's one of those games that I've played it semi-regularly for like 2 or 3 months after it came out, and then I play it regularly every so often after that. So,
yep.
And you play it regularly too, so you know that that game gets fucking boring. Just playing against sweats and fucking quick play every single day, it gets fucking annoying. So you kind of want to have like that, you know, let's just chill out in a custom game.
Ridiculousness.
Yeah, let's chill in a custom game and play fucking, what was that? I called it Death Run to somebody at one point. I know that's not exactly what it is, but you have to get from one end of the map to the other.
You're talking about the prison escape one with all the bastions.
Yeah, you have to get from one end of the map to the other with AI bastions tearing you up.
Oh yeah, and every time you get from point A to point B, you get the next character. By the way, the final character is Roadhog.
That is...
But he's...
kind of ass.
Well, the final character that you have to actually complete it with is Bastion. Roadhog is the, hey, you've completed this little gift hero. And he's got, like, 38,000 health.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that game mode and shit was fun. And if they try to, like, yoink that shit out from under us, that's gonna be a big problem to most people. Same thing with, like, the fucking... Even though I personally don't like the game mode, it's the same thing with the fucking... Weeping Angels game type.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, that was kind of booty.
Like, or literally any other custom game type that you...
I played fucking Uno.
Yeah, I still don't understand how, but this motherfucker played Uno in Overwatch. Like, that shit won't be allowed if this anti-cheat is in public match or private matches, because they'll detect that you're using a modified game type and it'll fucking boot your ass.
Yeah.
So it's
we'll see.
I believe the article said it's getting tested in the test realm competitive. And now being tested in the playable test realm servers. Yeah, it at the very beginning the article mentions at the very beginning of the article it mentions comp, but it doesn't say shit later on whether or not if it's going to be in quick play or the arcade modes.
Now, realistically, I think it might have something to do with the whole... It's gonna be in every type except for the ones that are, like, clearly allowed to be modded, like the custom games.
Okay, so I think what you're saying that like the algorithm will know if it's a custom game or not.
Right, like, hey, this is where the custom games are allowed to be. We don't put the algorithm in here.
Yeah, I gotcha. I hope so.
That would be great. That'd be the best.
Yeah, that'd be the best fucking course of action. Like, I just can't. Again, I can't imagine them fucking having this algorithm control the entire game. Alright. So, we'll move on to the next topic here on my listy loose. That one's done. So these next two articles are actually kind of part of like the same little category. I put them both under kind of like the same thing. These next two articles are, I said, Ubisoft seemingly caring about fans? Because, don't get me wrong.
I don't believe it.
In today's age, a lot of fucking game developers, they quote-unquote care about their fans, but they only care about their fans enough to fucking get them to buy the game. Like,
they care enough to lie.
Yeah, like, other than indie developers and the fucking Sonic movie, when have the fucking fans cried out about fucking something and the developers fucking... Because arguably, even though it's a movie, I'd call the Sonic people fucking developers because they're developing a 3D model to put in the movie. But, like, other than the Sonic movie and indie developers, when have fucking people cried out that they want a feature or that they almost entirely unanimously agree that something would make a game better and they just don't fucking give a shit? Like, that happens all the time. How many times does that happen and they actually do fucking do it? It's ridiculous.
I can name the Sonic movie, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. The Sonic movie is like the only fucking thing. Only thing. Okay, so this headline this headline has the word fans and the word asked flipped around, so I'll read it the way it's originally written, and then I'll read it again how it should be written. So, the article is, The Division 2 fans asked if they want a story-driven offshoot. The way that the writer intended was, The Division 2 asks fans if they want a story-driven offshoot.
Yeah. By
Matthew Cato on July 15th, 2019 at fucking 10 a.m. Ooh, look at you go, boy. Julian Grady. I don't fucking know. He's gonna be Julian Gare. Julian Gare, creative director for The Division 2 by Ubisoft, appears open to the idea of a story-driven spin-off to the squad-based online shooter. The idea started when TT Games level director Tim Spencer tagged Gare on Spencer's Twitter thoughts on how he'd love a story-driven offshoot for the series. Tim Spencer, this is the tweet, by the way, at that there Tim, I love the idea of a single-player narrative-driven spin-off of at the Division game, focusing on an agent trying to get home to their family after being sent to New York City during the SHD blackout from the fall of DC. TLOUX Division, and then he added Gare. Gare was intrigued enough by the idea that he asked his own followers what they thought of the idea, one that Gare has concluded they aren't quote-unquote violently against. He said, "Thoughts?" He retweeted it with the quote, "Thoughts?" Of course, Gare's comments shouldn't be taken as the final word. Not only is he just one person on the team and in the company, but in the not-so-distant past, Gare has proven he runs his Twitter account with humor. Joking that a new Splinter Cell was in the works, and there's a link, I'm assuming, to an article about that. So, I will ask you the question that the article asks at the end. How about you? Do you want a narrative-driven spin-off for The Division?
I was never a big fan of The Division in general. I mean, I wouldn't be violently opposed to the idea.
like most people are. Yeah. No, I would want one because I don't know if you remember this, but back when the first Division was coming out, Corridor Digital actually released fucking, I think it was like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 at most, videos, like short films, just tossing into example how the Division agent thing works, where basically people will just be surviving as normal fucking, people, their everyday lives, and then once that fucking watch lights up, that fucking orange ring, once that shit lights up, they turn into, like, international 007 super spy, and it's fucking awesome. Like, in the one video that they made, there was this woman and 2 guys, like, sitting in their apartment with, like, their windows boarded up and shit, and they were watching television, because it was in New York, like, while this, like...
Right. While the whole shebang was going down.
Yeah, and apparently there were still a couple of TV stations that were operating, and they were talking about, like, news and, like, just running, like, shit programs, and they were just watching it. And, their fucking door gets kicked in by a dude with a shotgun. And, like, at first, everyone's like, oh god, and putting their hands up, like, fucking,
right.
Everyone's, like, putting their hands up, letting them get robbed, and then the fucking woman's watch goes off. And the minute her watch goes off, she goes from, like, putting her hands up, allowing them to rob her, to, like, kicking their asses and taking their guns and running off. It's fucking amazing. It's hilarious. I love it. I love the video.
But that begs the question, like, when did they get this training? When did they... Or does the watch bestow them with this skill?
No.
In which case, how?
The story of the Division is that it was a volunteer program where civilians could go volunteer to get government special forces training. And
fuck.
And once they did that, the stipulation was you have this watch, right? You have this thing. You are now part of a secret organization run by the president called the Division. Basically, the reason why you're called the Division and reason why this is happening is if there's any event in which the U.S. government falls, you will be activated to fight to restore the American government. And you are to keep, and the whole shtick was that they were to keep their identities a secret. Nobody was supposed to know that they went through this training. They basically live their life like normal. But the minute they get activated, meaning like the watch lights up, they have to drop their lives to go complete their duty and only return to it once the American government has been restored.
I mean, the complete and total 100% kick-ass super spy last resort of the government? Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's
and all I gotta do is abandon everything I know and love? Fuck yeah!
Yeah, and I think that a spin-off, story-driven spin-off game would be cool. Because I know that lore background, and I know and I've seen the videos that Corridor made, and I know how, like, because the Division itself is kind of broad because they have character customization, and they want the player to put themselves as their agent. So it has to be generally broad, but to see, like, the actual, like, nitpicky, just one agent out of the thousands that are activated, see into their personal life that they were actually getting along fine, eating fucking cans of tomato soup and watching TV, then all of a sudden they fucking activate and they have to leave all that behind to possibly die is fucking... and very interesting to me.
Yeah. The more I think about that, the more I'm kind of okay with that, actually.
Yeah. I think it'd be fucking great. Not only
Not to derail us completely, but I am in Rainbow Six in fucking Terrorist Hunt, and I'm still defending the fucking hostage from like 15 minutes ago because the last 2 enemies won't fucking show themselves. Let's continue on with the topic.
Dude, that's like fucking old Rainbow Six, like the Vegas games when you be playing Terrorist Hunt and there's like 2 guys left and you've searched the whole map top to bottom 4 times and still haven't found them, and you end up finding them by them doming your ass.
But I'm not allowed to leave the building.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue with the topic.
Yeah, but like not only that, but like something that I always found lacking was the character customization in the Division. Like, and by the character customization, I mean like the actual physical items that you use to customize. They just seem really simple and like not low texture, but low quality. Meaning like, oh, you have a leather jacket. There's not like, but it's just a fucking leather jacket. There's not like strapped on pouches maybe, or like there's not, you know, some cool design on it. Like it is literally just a base fucking default leather jacket. Or like you'll throw on a beanie and it might have like a small little circular decal on it, but other than that, it's just fucking.
Yeah, no, the character customization is rather weak. I mean, I can't even make Waluigi.
Yeah, Brett measures. By the way, viewers, just in case you didn't know, Brett measures the quality of a game's character customization on whether or not he can create Waluigi.
Yep, I did it in WWE 2K19.
Yeah, he did. The shit was so fucking good. Alright.
Yay.
So on to the last Ubisoft related thing. Now this is kind of something similar, whereas in the Division article, it was just one of the devs kind of reaching out and, you know, talking to his fans. Basically something that it's a very, very, very far cry for something to come of that, right? This is on the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm not gonna explain anything, I'm just gonna read the fucking headline. Ubisoft invites fans to create music for Watch Dogs Legion. So this is gonna go great.
Oh no!
Ubisoft is partnering with Hit Record, a creative collaboration platform headed by actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt, to invite fans to create their own custom music for Watch Dogs Legion. Hit Records lets users upload user-created content like short films and music, and then other creative community members can remix it or collaborate with the original artist to make something new. Ubisoft is looking for songs that fit into genres like rock, hip-hop, electronica, pop, metal, and punk. 10 original songs will be chosen, and $2,000 will be paid out to all involved contributors. If you're interested in competing, read here, and they have a link to it. This isn't the first time that Ubisoft has partnered with Hit Record. Last year, Ubisoft announced that it would do the same for Beyond Good and Evil 2. For that particular project, fans were invited to create user-created content like artwork and that could be featured in the final game. Despite the enthusiasm from both Ubisoft and Hit Record, there's been some backlash about the project from game developers who call this type of collaboration speculative work, quote-unquote. This term is used when someone works for free in hopes of getting paid for it, but without any guarantees. I find this potential exploitative since Ubisoft and Hit Record are only paying winning contributors. I'm gonna stop reading there, but fucking the article keeps going on and it shows a couple tweets. But yeah, that is the first issue that I had with it. Basically, the TLDR of this entire fucking article is Ubisoft is using their AAA status to flex on some fucking music chads who think they're good, only to then use their music for a measly I say measly $2,000, but let's be honest, fucking $2,000 is a lot of money, but regardless of how much money $2,000 is, this game's gonna make infinitely more than fucking $2,000.
Well, on one hand, I can see why they'd only be giving out $2,000, and that has to do with the fact that, hey, they're also going to note who created the music. So this is a chance for these artists to go ahead and start trying to make a name for themselves. And what better way to really, really get going than to have made music for a hit game?
Yeah, see, here's the issue, though. See, here's the big issue. Ubisoft right now is in an economic status in the gaming world where they do well enough to keep making games, but they don't do well enough to gain, like, big outside gaming world clout, if that makes sense. Like,
that's fair.
Call of Duty makes a lot of outside gaming world clout. Halo makes a lot of outside gaming world clout. Fortnite, you've seen what Fortnite has done. Fucking even Apex to a point has made a lot of out of gaming world clout. So unless the people who win this are looking to be just pretty much strictly game music composers, they're not gonna get, cause like, okay, my two issues with this: it's only $2,000, whereas you know that the game is popular enough that it's gonna bring in millions of dollars, right?
Right.
But on the flip side, it's not popular enough that even having your name credited for a song is gonna give you a ton of work and fucking huge name things. Like, yeah, it'll get you some clout. I agree with that, but you're not gonna get no fucking Hollywood job.
Right. Unless, of course, it's, like, good enough. In which case, that's entirely on the music itself and how the population receives it.
The only
because
way...
there have been songs from games that have absolutely jumped from the gaming world straight into the real world, and we just haven't been able to let go.
Fucking Tetris, Halo, Zelda, fucking Mario. There's tons of, like, classics that get thrust out into the real world. And that's the only way that I think this would be worth it for a music artist, is if they compose a track that is so good that motherfuckers start adding this on their YouTube music playlists, their fucking Spotify's, their fucking Pandora's, whatever music platform you prefer. They start adding it on there, and it picks up enough traction by itself, separate from the game. It's kind of like Breaking Benjamin's "Blow Me Away," right? That game is beloved by that song is beloved by millions. But how many people you think actually know that song was composed for the sole purpose of being used in Halo 2 at first?
That's a fair point.
So that's the only hope that these people really have, is that their music is so good that it, like, outlasts fucking Watch Dogs Legion. Because I honestly don't know a single fucking person who's planning on buying Watch Dogs Legion, because with Watch Dogs 2, that game hit shitter. So,
I think I have access to play that game. I just haven't.
Yeah. It's like, oh fuck, I spent $60 on this? When did I do that?
No, I think it's more along the lines of, oh hey, the person I'm file sharing with spent money on this, why on earth did you do that?
Yeah. So it's just fucking stupid. So I'm gonna read a couple of the tweets here. There's two tweets that we have here. I have no clue who these people are. Let me actually look who this guy is. So this guy is Mike Bithell. He is game creator. Oh, he's a game director and writer of John Wick Hex, Thomas Was Alone, Volume, Subsurface Circular, and Quarantine. Don't know what any of that is, but I'll trust that he's somebody relatively important to. He says, "This sucks. People pay for their labor. Stop exploiting fans and hobbyists while devaluing the work of those with the gall to actually expect consistent payment for work done. Do better, Ubi. We're counting on you." Right, and he has a point.
I mean, I'm not counting on them to do shit.
Well, no, not counting on, but he has a point about the fucking exploiting. Like I said earlier, they're just using their fucking AAA status clout to get fans to do the fucking musical work for the game for them. That's all they're really doing.
Hey guys, come make music for our game. Why though? We'll pay you we'll give you $2,000. So?
Oh shit, really? You'll give me $2,000 for composing? No, only if you win, motherfucker. Like, shit.
Oh. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's
didn't you?
Yeah, that's the big issue with this. is if they gave $2 grand to everyone
the small
who
print?
participated. If they gave fucking $2 grand to everyone that participated, it'd be a lot different. But
if they gave $2 grand to everyone who participated, fuck, I would participate. Fucking Christ.
oh my god, okay, sorry, on a side note, I since I had Twitter up, I noticed I had 3 notifications, so I looked at them quick. The one notification that I got was a retweet from my buddy Xavier. It's a Game Informer article, and I'm not gonna read the fucking article, but I'm just gonna read what this tweet says from Game Informer. Spider-Man on PlayStation 4 is now, according to the MPD, the best-selling superhero game of all time over 2011's Arkham City. So there you go. Spider-Man PS4 has broken Arkham City's record.
Shit.
Okay, so this second tweet, back to Ubisoft fucking exploiting their fans for music. This second guy, Rami Ismail, 50% of indie game studio Vlambeer, creator of Press Kit, public speaker, traveler. Okay, I don't give a fuck about any of that other stuff. So apparently he's half indie game studio of Vlambeer. Apparently, I guess he's the half owner or something. He said, I'm still not a fan of what read as, quote, spec work under a proprietary open non-exclusive license model, and prefer the, quote, pay someone to browse SoundCloud to find cool music, for which you then talk to the creator and pay them too. That's true too, dude. Like, somebody could fucking find just some random SoundCloud rapper, be like, yo, homie, you want some money? Let me, like, slightly edit your shit, and we could get $2 grand. But that shit's dumb as well. I didn't even think about that side of it. Oh, dude, I didn't even think about this side of it. Imagine the plagiarism, the copyright infringement thing on this. Dude, Ubisoft's gonna get themselves in fucking legal trouble. I swear to God. There's gonna be some kid who talks to the creator of a song, right? And he's like, dude, let me remix your shit and we can get $2 grand. The dude's like, hell yeah. So he then remixes the song that this dude made, sends it to Ubisoft. They win. Ubisoft puts it in the game, but then you find out that the original guy who he got the song from remixed it from an already existing copyright property.
Right.
That's when you got some shit. I can already see it happening now. Shit, dude. This is fucked. This is really fucked.
Oh boy,
like,
we're gonna be in for some funny shit.
I understand that Ubisoft's trying to be like appeal to their audience, but dude, literally, all you gotta do to appeal an audience is just ask fucking Twitter, like, hey, what's some clothing items and character customization you want in the game, and then put like half that shit in. That's all you have to do. You don't have to fucking go this length.
Is there any particular weapon you guys would like?
Yeah, I'd like to I'd like to fucking throw in a Scar H. Fucking game comes out, there's a Scar H in there. Whoa! Holy shit!
Like,
that's so cool!
They were already gonna put in a Scar H to begin with.
Yeah, like, oh shit!
Oh wow, they listened to me!
Yeah, like, I know it's also, like, kind of like false expectations in that regard, but it's still, like, at least it's something. Like, you fucking, like, for example, if my friend Zap, like, if a fucking game studio was like, what kind of items would you like in the game, and fucking my friend Zap goes, yeah, can you put my OC's helmet in the game, and then we fucking boot up the game and we see Zapman helmet as an item, that'd be fucking sick. Shit like that.
Fuck.
Shit like that is how you get the fans on your side. Because even if you don't pick their item, they will recognize that you listen to one of them and that you care. You know what I mean?
Holy shit! Like, where did this even come from? Looks up Zapman. Wow, that's actually doesn't have anything to do with the game.
Like, holy shit, he's just a fan of the game. Like, goddamn, that's actually sick. Yeah, exactly. Nowadays, the only way somebody's gonna get something like that in a game nowadays is if you fucking get diagnosed with cancer and you go through Make-A-Wish.
And even then, it's only gonna be half-assed.
Yeah. Like, fuck. And that's why I like people like Blizzard and other shit, cause, like, I like Blizzard for their HR. Blizzard's alright in other instances, and their HR is fucked up, but, like, I like the team that does Overwatch because they know what they're doing and they know how to not only appeal to fans most of the time, asterisk most of the time, but they also know, like, for example, like the Lijiang Tower map. There's that one spacesuit that has flowers around the bottom of it and a kid's name written on it, the red one, because that kid was fucking killed trying to stop a purse snatcher.
Well, shit.
And he had a relation to one of the devs through being a fan of the game, because he was a fan who was so hyped up for this game to release. Like, during the release of Overwatch, he was so hyped. He pre-ordered it. He pre-ordered the most expensive edition. He fucking was so hyped for this shit. And he ends up getting shot because he tried to fucking stop a purse snatcher. And so he got his name immortalized in the game. That kind of shit.
And with the way that the game is going, I mean, that ain't ever gonna go away.
Yeah, they have no plans, at least as far as I know, to, like, change that spacesuit ever again. And it's fucking great. I love shit like that. Or, like, there was an old game one time, I think it was one of the old Zelda games, where fucking, it was kind of the same situation, where a kid who was, like, a couple links, links of people, you know what I mean by links of people? Fucking, what is that called?
Oh, fuck.
The six,
I don't
whatever
know.
the fuck, away from somebody. Like, you're always 6 people away from somebody else on the planet or whatever. That theory. He was only a couple people.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, he was only a couple people from one of the game developers, and he was psyched about the new Zelda release, and he fucking died of some disease or something. And so they put...
Some bullshit.
Oh no, that's right. It was a competition. It was a fucking Nintendo Power competition. That's right. I'm sorry. It was a Nintendo Power competition, and the kid won it, but the kid died before his name got put in the game. So instead of just putting his name in the game on a random NPC, they dedicated an entire secret Easter egg room to him. Like, shit like that's cool.
Not bad, not bad.
Shit like that's fucking dope. And I love it. And it's really shitty when you see shit like that get removed, too. Like, I can't think of any instance where it got removed, but I can guarantee you it probably happened. But yeah, that's
Some
all.
guy decides to mod the fucking game, removes the secret Easter egg room so he can put something else in it.
That's fucked.
It immediately gets perma-banned from every single fucking next edition of the game ever created.
Yeah, I like to think that I'm very respectful when it comes to real life dead. And by real life dead, I mean if I kill a fucking civilian in a video game, I'm not gonna give two shits. But I mean like real dead. Like, for example, the one day I had a fucking congestion problem, kind of like I do now, and I was out playing Pokemon Go with my friend Derek, and I fucking hawked up a loogie and spit, and it landed on a fucking plaque, and I'm like, oh shit, don't tell me that's one of the memorial plaques, and I looked, and it was a plaque that was dedicated, we were sitting on a dock when I did it, and I spit towards the land and it hit it, and all the plaque said was that the dock was donated by a lumber company, so I didn't feel as bad. But like there were like other like little like wedge stones and shit like around the fucking park path, like trees that were planted dedicated to family members and shit. Like the one day,
and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, the one time his little brother pissed me off real bad. Because he had a monster can, and he had finished his monster can, and and we were hanging out at the Dick Winters Memorial. Do you know who Dick Winters is?
No.
Okay, basically to briefly explain, have you ever watched Band of Brothers?
Probably.
Well, basically, Band of Brothers was a mini TV series about one of the airborne battalions of World War II that went through D-Day and went through through Europe all the way to VE Day.
Yep.
And the leader of that battalion was Dick Winters. He was a man who was very courageous. As a matter of fact, there's one true story that I always tell people to exemplify his courageousness, because this is fucking ridiculous, and I don't know a single person who would like do this out in their right mind. Back then, they had smoke grenades, but the smoke grenades back then took about 5 to 10 seconds to actually, like, pop to start, you know, bellowing smoke out of it. Yeah, start to pop to actually, like, start shooting out smoke. This motherfucker took a red smoke grenade.
Yeah.
And so they were in a little, like, divot. They were in a ditch. And then when you come up out of the ditch, there's, like, flat land to a hill. And they knew that the Germans were on the other side of the hill. And fucking what Winters did was he pulled the pin on the grenade, and he held it there in his hand with the lever still pressed so it wouldn't activate. He said, "I'm gonna throw this grenade, and when the smoke pops, we all charge." Or he said, "You all charge. When the smoke pops, you all charge." He throws the fucking grenade out there, and then he charges in. Like, he charges forward. So he had a good solid 5.
Hold the fuck
He
up.
had a good solid 5 to 10 seconds where he could have been mowed down by machine gun fire before his men even followed him. Because he wanted to go first to make sure that there was no danger for the rest of his men.
I mean, fuck.
Yeah, this motherfucker, he's one of the people from history that I look up to a lot and I respect.
Fucking balls of steel.
Yeah, this
Jesus.
motherfucker is hella was a literal hero. And when his brother finishes his fucking monster can, he throws it on the ground, stomps on it, and just leave it lay there on this fucking memorial. And I'm just like, really? Are you gonna pick that up? And he went, "Oh yeah, my bad, sorry."
Nah.
And he like lazily walks over and picks it up and fucking lazily walks to the trash can. I'm like, motherfucker. You are standing on a memorial to a fucking hero in his hometown. You better shut the fuck up and clean up your fucking act. Because he was born and raised in fucking Ephrata, PA, which is very close by, and that's where we were when this all happened. So they have a fucking memorial tombstone. It's not his actual tombstone, it's not where he was actually buried, but it's just a memorial tombstone. And then like maybe about like 10 meters across the one footpath trail is like a giant copper statue of him sitting on like a big marble fucking base.
Right.
It was like on a marble base with like metal plaques around telling you about his life and shit. It's a beautiful fucking memorial. And he just fucking throws down his monster can, steps on it, sit there, and I'm just like, you fucking inconsiderate little shit.
So I have an area that's somewhat similar, except it's like nearby where I work. It's a cemetery, but it is a cemetery specifically for the victims of murderers, like, and every single person in that gravesite is a child.
So it's like child murderers. It's like a
memorial, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a graveyard for victims of child murderers.
Something that really surprised me is that, well, I've been starting to get back into Pokemon Go, and I noticed that there's a fucking Pokemon gym sitting right on top of that fucking memorial.
Yeah.
Which brings in all sorts of younger individuals, which is cool. You know, get some publicity for the children's memorial cemetery.
Yeah.
But on the same bit about that, like, all of these fucking snot-nosed brats are disrespecting the place.
Yeah, it was the same thing with the Winters Memorial. The Winters Memorial had a gym at it.
It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I like to think that I'm very respectful for the dead. Because I try to be, because, you know, I know that, you know, they're in better, you know, every dead person is in a better place, and honestly, their spirit, or whatever the fuck you believe, honestly probably doesn't give a fuck what happens to the original body, but the fact of the matter is, I still want to respect that for anyone who does. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, alright. Enough of that depressing shit. We are about to hit 45 minutes. So...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this shit, when we actually get into discussion, this shit doesn't take long for time to pass. Let me double check real quick. I'm not expecting anything, but let me just look up the hash. Morty. I doubt. How much you want to bet there's nothing here? Actually, you know what? If somebody wants to anyone who's watching this, if you have a Twitter, I would love it if y'all could tweet with the hashtag BnB Ben and Brett and literally just say you're gay. I actually unironically just want to see, when I look up the hashtag, just one single tweet that says hashtag Ben and Brett you're gay. That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, go for it.
Dude, I actually want that to happen. Can somebody please do that? I just want to see you're gay. Like, as a fucking... You're gay. Alright. Anyways, I'm gonna end the podcast here. I have been...
Well, just before you go, just a little update. I'm still waiting for these fucking terrorists to show their fucking faces.
Yeah, they're definitely glitched in the corner of the map somewhere.
So I've been going around the entire map, destroying every destructible thing in every room that I can possibly find.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Ubisoft game. Where we're gonna pay you $2,000 if you win to compose music for us. Because we're too lazy to fucking pay royalties. Alright. Well, anyway, that'll be it for the BnB Podcast. I've been your co-host, Ben.
I'm the other co-host, Brett.
And we will see you all in the next activity. Bye-bye.
Leave.